Brilliant. Okay, so welcome everybody. This is our first yoga class of 2023. So this class is called Back to It. So it's going to be a focus on healthy backs. So really looking at the yoga postures in how it supports us in a functional way, but also that first class back, just kind of getting us back into moving again, and it's not going to be too strenuous. But generally over Christmas and in the winter in general, we might be sitting down a lot more, so obviously that's actually putting, it's not putting strain on the lower back, but it weakens the lower back, and then we might end up with tightness and sensitivity, and actually that lower back probably needs strengthening. But we have proximal stability muscles, which there's 4 groups of muscles. You've got your deep neck flexors, which we'll be doing a little bit of work on today, your transverse abdominis, your core, your glutes, and your serratus, which is in your rib cage. And when we find all of these muscles active and engaged and strengthened, then that supports our spine and it supports our posture. So we'll be finding those as we move along. You don't need to know all the terminology, but I'll be guiding you through that. So we're going to start down on our backs. So I'll just change my screen for you. So just come onto your back for now. You can bend your knees or have your legs straight. Don't worry too much about how you are sitting, but just, there we go. Finding a position that's comfortable. And let's just allow ourselves to arrive. So just soften, give in to gravity here. Just give yourself this time to draw your awareness in. So whatever the day has held for you, we're just leaving that to one side, beginning to focus in on our breath, noticing our body. So maybe just tune in, how is the body feeling this evening? Maybe just mentally scanning through. And just begin to notice your breath as well. So if we also are improving our posture, then our breath will also be more efficient and more effective. If we're drooping forward with the shoulders, we actually crush into the rib cage, so we affect our breathing. So if we've got that forward shoulder posture, we'll hopefully work on that to open it out today. So just become aware of your breath as you rest on your back. So we're in a position that we're not usually in during the day, but we can just rest and let gravity help draw the head down, open through the shoulders, open across the chest. So hopefully your breath just feels quite free here. But just become aware of it. Notice the timing of the breath, the length, the movement. And just use that to anchor your attention to. And your mind may or may not try and get involved and try and pull you away, try and take you into some thought patterns, but keep persisting, keep coming back. And maybe just bring some awareness to the very base of your skull, where your spine connects in. And just trace your awareness down the spine, noticing the muscles that branch off into the back. And how your back is feeling tonight. So the spine is designed to move forwards, backwards, to twist. So we'll be using those movements today. But you might find there's certain parts of your back that feel quite stuck. So just have an awareness of that. If there's a particular part of the back that is either sensitive or feels like it's locked up, and just be gentle with yourself as we practice tonight. Use this session just to really tune in, to notice. And just a momentary assessment of how you feel right now, and then we'll check in with ourselves again at the end of the session, as well as with our backs. So allowing that breath to slow, to lengthen, breathe in just through your nose. Allowing that lower rib cage to expand and soften. And also think of your breath as 360 degrees. So instead of just breathing forwards, we breathe into the sides and we breathe into the back as well. So just notice that as you bring that awareness to breathing into the back, maybe it presses into the mat. And then let's begin to bring some movement into our bodies now. Wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, circle the wrists, the ankles. Lengthen the arms, lengthen the legs. And then just gently draw the knees in. You can hug them in really tightly if you want, or just quite loosely. But there's a folding in of the legs in towards the body. And then release your feet down to the mat. So this is, we're aiming for the feet to be hip distance apart. Knees are pointing straight up. And have the heels in quite close to the hips, so you're not sending the feet too far away. We've got them in quite close. And the first thing we're going to focus on here is pelvic rocks. So we're going to be tilting the pelvis forwards and backwards. And this is going to engage into our lower abdomen and also into our glutes. And we can also find that neutral position. So as you exhale, draw the navel in and flatten your lower back into the mat. Scoop the tailbone under and think about your hip bones sliding towards one another. So we really become engaged into this lower abdomen. And then as you inhale, we press the tailbone down into the mat and we really exaggerate that curve in the lumbar spine. And then we work with the breath between these two positions. So exhale, draw the navel in, inhale, rock forwards. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Once more, inhale. This time as we exhale, draw the navel in and then begin to press into the feet and peel the spine away from the mat and really bring your awareness to the spine as you lift it away vertebra by vertebra. And we just come up into a straight line from knees to shoulders. Take a little inhale here. And then we reverse it. As we exhale, draw the navel in, tuck the tailbone under and see if you can lower down your spine, one vertebra at a time. So just bringing in a little bit of mobility, a little bit of awareness, no rush. Don't worry, it's not about getting it completely correct. Inhale, take a little rock forwards. And again, exhale. Press into the feet. Peel the spine away. Can you become aware of every vertebra as it transfers from one to the other? Inhale at the top. And as you exhale, lowering down again. Can you isolate? Good. And then take a breath at the bottom. And then we're just going to switch the knees from right to left. Keep the shoulder blades on the mat. Nice smooth switch from side to side, and just notice that sense of twist. So your shoulder remains connected to the ground, but you might find that your rib cage twists a little bit. Once more each side. And once you've done that, come back to center. And we'll make our way up to sitting. So if your back's not feeling too bad, then if you want, you can hold on to the backs of your legs and rock along the spine. It'll give a little bit of a massage and again, just improve blood flow. If you're not fancying that, drop over to your right side and press the ground away. And just come into a comfortable seated position. Sit on a block if you want, or a stool. But we want now a lengthened spine. This is important. So if you are crunching over, then get a block. Listen to what I'm saying, get a block. So that we are able to sit nice and upright in our neutral position. Our spine is in a little S shape. And then press the ground away with the sitting bones. So as you press down, there's a sense of lift, and we really activate into our postural muscles here. Take a roll through the shoulders like a wheel reversing backwards. And just be aware of those shoulders. So it's not just about isolating into the back, it's also about this awareness of our shoulders as well. Good. And then if our backs are sore, and we might be in this hunched forward position during the day, either with a phone in our hand or at a desk or a laptop, then we're creating tightness. We're creating tightness into the front of our shoulders, and those muscles are actually quite strong. If we think about our pectoral muscle, it's quite a strong muscle. And the muscles are on the back. There's more of them, but they're smaller and a little bit weaker. So we want to open the chest so that we create this neutral positioning. So we're going to place our palms facing up. And we're just going to fold our forearms in, inhale. And then as we exhale, keep the palms facing up and just reach the thumbs out behind you. You've probably done this with me before, but I've probably not told you why. Inhale, bring the forearms in. Working with the breath, exhale. Thumbs reaching out, we keep the elbows bent, palms facing up, so we're creating external rotation at the top of the arms. We'll keep working with the breath, inhale. And exhale. Good, that might not feel that comfortable. And then lengthen the arms out. As we inhale, we lift the arms and allow the shoulders to lift. Bring the palms together at the top. And then exhale, lowering down. Allow the shoulders to lower down. So just don't overthink it. Lift the arms, allow the shoulders to lift. And exhale. So the scapula and all the muscles surrounding it are going to be sliding up and down the back. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Good. So we're going to take a side reach. Bring the right hand down, or the left hand, depending on how you're watching this. If I'm in a mirror position to you, lengthen that top hand up. Press the ground away. Keep this sense of lengthening so we're not collapsing, and just take a little reach over. It's like we're reaching up and over a wall that's at the side of us. So we just want to release through that rib cage and again into the serratus now. Take a moment there as you breathe into that rib cage. And release. Good, taking that to the other side. Lifting the other arm up, lengthen. Press the ground away with the hand that's on the mat. Create that length through the waist. And reach over. Creating a little bit of a stretch through the rib cage and the serratus. Good, and release. Take one more roll through those shoulders. Again, just checking in with how the back feels. So we're going to move into onto all fours and move into cat-cow. So we're really moving the spine forwards and backwards. So bring yourself into your tabletop, hands underneath those shoulders, knees underneath the hips. There's a gentle lift of the front body in, and then we move through cat-cow here. So as you inhale, lift the head and the tailbone, slide the shoulders down the back. Exhale, draw the navel in, chin towards the chest, tuck the tailbone under. And again, inhale. Feel like you're opening through the spine and not just crunching it forwards. Like if the energy continued, you'd make a circle through the top of the head and the tailbone. Once more, inhale and exhale. And release. Send the hips back to the heels and just come to kneeling. If you can't take a full kneel, then come to a high kneeling position. And just take a moment just to stretch through the back of the wrists and maybe just circle them. We're going to come in back into a tabletop in a moment, but we need to also just be aware of those wrists. Take a counter stretch. And we're also going to take a twist here. So bring the palms together. We're keeping the hips forward. So if you've come up high, make sure that you're not twisting the hips as well. Inhale. See if you can lengthen the spine slightly. And then as you exhale, draw the navel in. Feel like you're sucking up through a straw, like you're lifting your spine as we find that twist. Good. Without shifting the pelvis, we're just finding that twist, activating all the muscles along the spine, finding that spiral, and release back to center. Take a breath here. And then as we exhale, draw the navel in. Feel like you're lifting the energy up through the base of the spine, all the way up. As you find that twist. And release. Bring the hands back to the mat and back into your tabletop. So we're keeping a neutral spine here. So you're just pressing the ground away slightly. And we're coming into sunbird. So lengthen your left leg, tuck the toes under. And keep both hands on the mat. We're going to lift and lower the leg without moving the pelvis. So as you exhale, we lift the leg. Don't let the pelvis, so the rocks that we were doing earlier, we're going to keep the pelvis fixed and not do what we did earlier, and then lower as you inhale. So let's try that again. So keeping it down as you inhale and exhale to lift. Slow, it's not a pulsing movement. Inhale to lower and exhale. See if you can lengthen that leg as well. Stay connected into the core. One more. Inhale, lower and exhale. Good. Maybe hold the leg there. You've got that option now to introduce the arm. Keep the front ribs in and find that length. You can also keep the hand down. Good. One more breath. And then bend the knee. Send the hips to the heels into your child's pose. But instead of your palms facing down, now I want you to turn your palms up. So again, we're externally rotating at the top of the arms, forehead down. And make any adjustments to that you can if it feels like they won't stay in that up position. And just keep coming back to the breath, just that awareness within the body. And on your next inhale, we come back up, finding your tabletop. Okay, lengthen your right leg this time. Toes are tucked under. Create that length in the leg. Stabilize through your core. We're going to keep the pelvis fixed. On your exhale, slowly lift the leg. So the foot is just coming to the same height as the hip, and slowly inhale to lower. Exhale. Lift. Feel like you're lifting through the inner thigh. Inhale, lower. And exhale to lift. Hold it there now. Notice if that pelvis has slipped forward. Keep connected into the core. And you do have that option to introduce the arm if it feels okay. If not, keep the hand down. Well done. And then bring the knee down, send the hips back into your child's pose again. Palms facing up if you can. And just take in that time. Again, just to come back to your breath. And then from here, we send the hands forwards, turn them back to face the mat, and rise up. So we've got a wider position between the hands and the knees now as we come into that plank position. We're not going to focus too much on this, but we are going to now lower down into the mat. So coming onto your belly, we're going to take a prone cactus position. So that's a facing down cactus position. So what I'd like you to do is have your elbows straight out to the sides, palms facing down. And we're going to lift our head. So your forehead is connected to the mat now. And you're just going to lift the back of your head up. So if I was to do this in an up position, I'll move that arm out of the way. You'll just draw, it's like you're drawing your chin all the way in. So you're not lifting your head, you're drawing your chin all the way back to the back of your head. So your face is lifting away from the mat, and this is where we engage our deep neck flexors. So we're lifting it up, lowering it down, and just finding those muscles that bring the head back into its natural alignment. So again, today's technology means that we end up with a forward head posture. So as you're in that cactus position, you're drawing your chin in and releasing down. Do one more. So we can feel those deep neck flexors and then release. Good. Okay, coming into Sphinx from here. So bringing your elbows underneath your shoulders, palms facing down, and I want you to take your arms actually a little bit wider. So spread your hands out so they're moving away from one another. So you're creating more of that position. And as you press into your forearms, draw the shoulder blades down, open through the chest, and now also press into the tops of the feet and engage your glutes. So it's like you're trying to tuck your tailbone under, which might affect how deep you go into the back bend, and that's okay. But we have now that engagement and that stability. So push into the forearms, push into the tops of the feet, engage the glutes, and just look forwards, or you can even look slightly down. Hold there, keep breathing. And then release. Good. And then bring your forearms to stack. Forehead resting against your forearms. And from here, you can keep your head exactly where it is now. We are going to take half locust. So we're just lengthening the right leg. So feel like somebody's got hold of your right toes and they're pulling them towards the bottom of the mat, and then you're going to lift that leg. So you're just lengthening that leg, lifting, holding, and lower down. And then we do the same with the other one. So reach into the toes of that left foot, lengthen the leg, and then begin to lift it. And lower it down. Good. Bring both hands either side of the chest, and we'll take Cobra. So similar to Sphinx, but we might come up a little bit higher. If it's not for you, then you can keep the hands where they are and just come up whichever height you did for Sphinx. So press the tops of the feet into the mat. Again, engage the glutes. Feel like your heart is drawing forward, shoulders down, elbows hugging in. You don't have to have straight arms, but we do want the shoulders down. Good. And lower all the way back down. We're going to do that once more. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, press into those hands. Well done. From here, push into the hands, hinge the hips back. Once more into your child's pose. And this might feel like a really nice stretch after those back bends, but don't force it. Sink your hips onto your heels and just breathe into the back. Where we've contracted those muscles, they could feel tight, but sometimes we overstretch them in the thinking that that's going to help, but we need the strength. So take one more breath where you are. And then let's come into a downward dog. So hands to the mat, tuck the toes under, press the mat away, lift through the hips. You can bend the knees a little bit if you want, and really firmly push into your hands. So like we did earlier when we were breathing, sitting down, breathing, lifting the arms, the shoulders move a bit closer to the head. And really firmly push into your hands, lift through your sitting bones, and just try and create a neutral spine. So we're not trying to create a back bend, and you can have your knees bent a little bit here. And then begin to pedal the heels, lift and lower. And then lower the knees. Okay, move your right hand out of the way, bring your right foot to the front. It's gone slightly further forward than your head, and we'll send the hips forward to come into our low lunge. Now press into both feet. Feel like your legs are like scissors and you're trying to hug them together. So you're not just hanging out into our deepest lunge and sending the hips forward. We're staying active in and around those hips. If you want, you can tuck the back toes under and lift that back knee away. If you don't want to do that, stay where you are. And lengthen the spine here. Good. Lower the knee back down if it's lifted. Left hand to the mat. And you can either bring the back of your right hand to the lower back and open the chest, or you can lift it up. But we've started to find a twist again. We might feel a stretch through that glute as well. Bring that hand down. Tuck the back toes under. Step back into your downward facing dog. Maybe take a little twist here. So we're pivoting on the balls of the feet and bending the knees. And then lower the knees. Move the left hand out of the way. Bring your left foot forward. And send the hips through. But also press into the front foot, press into the lower half of the back leg. Imagine your legs are scissors and you're trying to close the scissors. Lengthen through the spine. Right hand to the mat. Oh, sorry, before we do that, tuck the back toes under and lift that knee if you want. You can keep it as a low lunge. And then lower that knee. Right hand to the mat, and either the back of your left hand to the lower back, or we lift up through that through that left arm. Keep the shoulder blades drawing down the back and lengthening the spine. Bring the hand down, tuck the back toes under, step back into your downward facing dog. And then walk your feet towards the hands. And you can keep the feet a little bit wide here if you want, but let your upper body just fold over. Bend your knees a little bit and feel that sense of lengthening into the back of the body. Hold on to the elbows, Take a little sway side to side. Let go of the elbows, give the head a nod. And a little shake of the head, shrug the shoulders, and then we uncurl. So draw the navel in. Feel like your hips are hugging towards one another and really create that connection through the core. And we uncurl one vertebra at a time, coming all the way up. Take another roll through your shoulders. Good. Take any little wriggles that you need to. And then find your mountain pose, Tadasana. So just press the ground away and have this sense of stacking. So we have ankle, knee, hip, shoulder and head. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, that came out of nowhere. Here we go. So just have that awareness. And again, that have your chin drawing slightly in. So if you have a hand on the back of your head, it's like you're pushing the back of your head into a hand. So we're just counteracting that forward head position that we might have created. Arms facing out. Press the ground away. Let's move through a sun salutation or two. And just connect with the breath on this. So inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward. Inhale, right foot back into your lunge. And then hold your breath, move into a plank, maybe a high plank or with the knees down. And as you exhale, lower down. Keep those deep neck flexors engaged. So draw the chin in. We're not letting the head drop forward. As you inhale, you can either take Sphinx or Cobra. Shoulders down, activate the glutes. And exhale, lift through the hips. Downward facing dog. Push into the hands. Stay with that breath. Find that length through the spine, maybe with a bend of the knee. There's a little bit of a reach of the heels down into the ground now. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands and step your right foot through. If you don't want to step it all the way through, then bring the knees down first and then step it through. Come back to that lunge, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, palms together and down, and then release to the sides. Doing that once more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, left foot back. Hold the breath, move into your plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, Sphinx or Cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Push into the hands. Now also think about your armpits wrapping in towards your heart. And find that external rotation again at the top of the arm. So it's almost like your inner elbow is facing forwards. Keep pressing into the fingertips, the knuckles, long spine. And on your exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands. Maybe the knees are all the way to the ground, otherwise step that left foot through, inhale. And exhale. Both feet together, forward fold. Inhale, press into the feet, arms out to the side, lifting them up. Exhale. Arms release to the side. Good. Take a moment there. Okay. Let's come into a lunge from here. So from the front of your mat, bring the palms together and send your right foot out behind you. Keep your back knee slightly bent and press the ground away with your feet. Again, imagine you legs are blades of a scissor, pair of scissors, and like you're trying to close them. And bring the arms up above your head. And then Notice the position of your pelvis. So if you've tipped it forward, tuck it under slightly, and then just lengthen that back leg a little. Bring the hands down, and we're bringing the arms into that movement we did at the beginning. So the forearms are folded in, and as we inhale, take the thumbs out behind. Inhale. As we exhale, we fold the arms in. And again, inhale and exhale. Good, don't forget about those legs. One more, inhale and exhale. And then we release the arms all the way up and move into a warrior two from here. So lower the back heel down, front knee remains above the ankle, and we open into warrior two. Excuse me a minute. Arms reaching. And then I want you to turn your palms up. So it's going to feel slightly different. And again, just notice how that affects the shoulders. Palms facing up. Hold there, reach into the fingers. Press into the outside edge of that back foot. Breathe in here. Take it into a reverse warrior. So reach into that front hand. And as you lift, lower the back arm, but it's just resting. It's not got any weight on that leg. And we try and lengthen the waist. You can feel that reach, that stretch into the rib cage again. And just look down towards your back foot. Breathe in here. And release. Turn the back palm up, bring your front forearm onto your thigh. Now press the thigh away. Good, and bring your top arm over. And then relax a little bit, so you're not pressing into your thigh, and let your rib cage move a bit closer to that leg. And then do it again. Exhale, push the thigh away. Inhale, soften. And again, exhale, push the thigh away. Hold it there now. So we can really feel that sense of lift of the rib cage away from that thigh as you reach into that hand. Option always to bring the back of the hand to the lower back. Turn that palm up and press through the air, returning into your warrior two. Let's move through a vinyasa now. So windmill the arms down, frame that front foot, send the feet back, find your plank, exhale, lower, inhale, sphinx or cobra, glutes engage, shoulders down, exhale, either to downward dog, or you're free to take child's pose. Whatever's feeling best for your back, it feels good in that child's pose stretch, go ahead. Take a few moments here. Maybe just bring that awareness to your back, to your spine, as well as your breath. And then when you're ready, come back into your downward facing dog. When we bring the feet through, so you can walk them, otherwise bend the knees, take 2 giant steps, or you can jump your feet through. Halfway lift, really connect into this movement now. So as we inhale, hands to the shins, and we're lengthening the spine, and the chest is lifting into the back of the body, and we're open through the shoulders. So really focus on that sense of lengthening and lifting the chest into the back of the body. Hold that there for one more breath. And then as you exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out, press the ground away. And palms together, lower down. Release to the side. Take a moment in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Press into the feet. Being aware of that stacked position and the position of your head. If you need to, slide the chin in. So it's like you're creating a double chin. Okay, taking that flow on the other side. So bring the palms together, left foot back. Find that lunge, bend the knee a little bit, press the ground away, scissor the legs, find that neutral pelvis. And then maybe straighten that back leg a little. Doesn't matter if it's not completely straight. But it's like we're drawing up through that lower belly. And then from here, lengthen the arms. Take a breath. And then elbows into the sides of the body. Turn the palms up and fold those forearms in. Inhale. Exhale, thumbs reaching out behind you. And again, inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Lift the arms up. Lower that back heel now as we make our way into warrior two. Turning the palms up. Keep lengthening into those arms. Draw the shoulders down. Press into the feet. And let's bring that into a reverse warrior. Reach into that front hand and then lift the arm. Lengthen out of the waist. And look down towards that back foot. And release. Come back to warrior two. Back hand, palm facing up. Front forearm onto your thigh. And release that arm over. As you inhale, just soften that press of the forearm. And as you exhale, press a little bit further. And again, inhale, soften. Exhale, press. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Hold there. And then press the arm through the air. Return to your warrior two. And windmill the arms down. Finding your plank. Chin drawn in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, Sphinx or Cobra, shoulders down. And exhale. Downward dog or child's pose. Come back to the breath. I've done that flow on each side, so just having that awareness of how the body feels. Couple more breaths here. And then coming into the downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look between the hands, and bring the feet through, walking, stepping or jumping. Halfway lift, really connect into this movement. We lengthen the spine, the chest lifts into the back of the body, and exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out and up. And exhale. Good. Release, find your Tadasana. And then we're going to step into a wide position with the feet. So you might want to be on the long edge of the mat. And we'll come into goddess pose. So switch the heels in and send the knees out towards the middle toes, so we're not collapsing the knees in, really thinking about drawing the knees out behind you. Lift the arms up, inhale, and exhale, elbows out. So really make sure that the back of the hands are reaching out behind you. Hold there as we breathe. And then press the ground away. Bring the hands to the hips. Turn the toes to face forward. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the chest, coming into Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward hog fold. So we find that flat back. It might not be parallel to the floor. Engage the legs, draw up through the kneecaps. Maybe bend the knees a little. And then you can allow your upper body to fold over. Hands release to the ground. Take a moment there. Feel that lengthening of the back. Pressing the ground away with the feet. Lifting the sitting bones. And then bend the knees. Draw the navel in. Uncurling up. Lift the arms. And exhale, lower. We're going to actually come down to kneeling now. So step the feet in. And we'll go through the first part of the sun salutation. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And hands to the mat. Step the feet back. Come into a downward dog. And lower the knees to the ground. And come to kneeling from here. Take a roll through those shoulders. So I actually want you to take the front of your mat. So you're going to roll the front of your mat up. And you're going to grab hold of your mat. Let me just switch to the side a little bit. So I'm going to imagine I'm holding it. So you're going to hold your mat, and I want you to feel, now don't tear it. So if you've got a thin mat, don't pull it too hard. But it's like you're trying to pull it out to the sides. So you're sitting up tall and elbows are in, and you're just pulling the mat like you're trying to pull it apart. Hold there, shoulders drawing down. Good. And then release. Allow that mat to come down. So again, that's just activating those muscles that create that external rotation rather than the pull forward. Bring the hands now to the back of the pelvis, coming into Ustrasana or camel. So this is back bend. We're opening through the front of the body. You can stay down if you want. So push the heel of the hand into the back of the pelvis and draw your elbows together. We're already in an open position, but feel like your chest is just lifted. Now stay long through the back of the neck. Don't drop the head back. Feel like somebody's just got a support at the back of your head to lift, and just look upwards without dropping your head back. If you like this position and it feels good, you can bring yourself up to a high kneeling position. Activate the glutes. So give them a squeeze, slightly tuck the tailbone under, and again, elbows together, and you've got a slightly deeper back bend. Feel like your chest is lifting up to the sky, long through the back of the neck. And then slowly release, take your time. Come back to kneeling if you're not already there. We're just going to take a twist here. So bring one of your hands to the opposite leg and press the ground away, and just use that hand as a bit of an anchor just to find that twist. Other hand can either be flat of the hand to your lower back, elbow drawing out, or even just reaching that arm out behind you. And return, swap it over. And release. Good. Take the hands out in front of you, coming into your child's pose now. Breathe in into the back. and we lift up, we come onto our backs. So if you want, cross over at the ankles, send the hips back, or just swing the legs around, coming down onto your back. And let's just take reverse pigeon here, because we've been activating those glutes, so we might just need a little stretch. So crossing your left foot over your right leg. See if you can put the outside edge of your foot onto your thigh, press your left knee forward. That might be enough. Otherwise, bring that right knee in as well. You might want to support and help with the hands, otherwise just do what feels good. Just so you find that release and that stretch through the hip, through the glute. And releasing. Let's do the other side. Cross that right foot over. And hold it there, or bring the left knee in towards your left shoulder. Right knee pressing forward. Try and keep a neutral spine. So instead of flattening the lower back into the mat like we did earlier, keep that neutral position instead. And then let go. Both feet back to the mat. Arms at the sides of the body, lengthen the legs, coming into your Shavasana now. But really lengthen into your leg one at a time. So reach into that left foot like your leg is as long as it can possibly be, and then relax it, and then do the same with the right one. Reach into that foot and then relax it. Press the back of the head into the mat, draw the shoulder blades together and release. And just give in to gravity now. Got a little bit of time here in Shavasana. So bring your awareness back to your breath. We've done all the hard work. All we need now is just allow ourselves just to be with the breath. And as you breathe, see if you can focus on a sense of energy flowing up and down your spine. So as you breathe in, we breathe in from the tip of the tailbone all the way up to the base of the skull. And then we reverse that as we exhale. So it's like we're really tuning in to the messages that get sent up and down the spinal cord on a second by second basis. And we have this cerebrospinal fluid that does flow up and down, connecting the brain into the rest of the body. So as we focus on this healthy back, it's not just about the spine, it's about our entire body. Just feel like we are connecting into this sense of communication between mind and body. And just finding that breath slow. Maybe your exhale can last a bit longer now. As you become aware of the contact points of your body into the mat, body feels relaxed, release of tension. Maybe you've increased your awareness around posture, positioning of the body, that connection into the back. Just have a vision of yourself moving forward into the rest of your week, feeling tall. Anytime you're sitting, you're trying to bring in some movement and counteract that sitting that we might be doing. Maybe just some moments from this class that you can fit into your day, a few minutes here and there. Just set an intention for you to carry with you now through the rest of your week. And then when you feel ready, let's begin to move again. Slowly wiggling your fingers, your toes. Reaching the arms out behind you. Drawing your knees in. And let your feet come back down to the mat. Dropping over to your right side and then push the ground away with your left hand, with your right arm, guiding you up to a comfortable seated position. Feeling nice and tall, lengthen through the spine, bring the palms together, rest the thumbs against your heart. Gently bow the head. Breathe in and out. And feeling connected through mind and body, deepened in your awareness. And keeping that feeling with you now through the rest of today and into the rest of the week. And when you feel ready, blink the eyes open and let your surroundings come back into view. And thank you for practicing with me. And if you're doing this on the recording, thank you very much. And yeah, I will see you soon. Let me stop the recording.